Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Shreveport Connection. I'm going to give you the spoilers for SmackDown Superstars and your NXT report from tonight's tapings. Okay. Dark match, William Regal defeated Johnny Curtis, good 5-minute match. Card was anti-Regal, who won with a running knee. Superstars taping, Zack Ryder and Primo defeated David Hart Smith and Darren Young. Smith worked most of the match. Zack got the win with the Rough Rider. They had to ask whether they are a tag team or not. Creative needs to get together because they fought against each other last week. Building was full except for a couple of rows in section 209. Crowd was hot. Yoshitatsu defeated Tyson Kidd. No sign of Jackson Andrews again this week. A good technical match that the crowd was into. Tyson, who isn't liked by the crowd, performed a dragon leg whip through the ropes that looked vicious and awesome. Kidd was going for the sharpshooter when Yoshi reversed it for the victory. Great match. Then they change over to the Raw. Okay, and the SmackDown version. Okay, that wasn't it. Okay, let's get to it. Well, I had it pulled up. I must have closed the window down. Okay, a dark match from the SmackDown part of it. Tyler Rex defeated Percy Watson. Rex dominated most of the match and won with his Burning Hammer finisher. Alright, Superstars for Thursday, which is January 20th. JTG beats Chavo Guerrero. Chris Masters beat Kurt Hawkins, who was supporting a new tattoo, by submission with Master Lock. Okay, on with your NXT report that I will read, because I don't like watching an internet show. This is not on TV. Show open with a lengthy recap that focus on all of your NXT related storylines. Opening montage air to the tune of the horrible Wild and Young theme song. Todd Grisham and Josh checked in from ringside and turned it over to Matt Striker, who stood in the ring and introduced the rookies and pros. Grisham and Matthews checked in for... Okay. Again, who stood in the ring and introduced the rookies and pros. Rookies headed to the ring while the pros took their seats on the stage. Okay, it was contest time. Yet again. It's not supposedly a wrestling program. Striker stressed that one of these rookies would be eliminated tonight. He said the only way to avoid elimination is to win immunity. Striker pointed out that Derek Bateman leads everyone 4-0. Striker said tonight's contest is worth 4 points. Contest is, how well do you know your pro? Campy-ass game show music played while the rookies and pros essentially played the newlywed game. First question was what the pros first thought when they saw the rookies. Bateman's answer was to name drop Tulsa, Oklahoma. Brian actually wrote down the same thing. They were the only rookie pro combo to get the first question right. Next up was the pros what the pros think would be the rookies' future outside of sports entertainment. Bateman answers the next Steve Blackman. Brian said the same thing written down. This is about as rigged as the NBA draft lottery. Broadus and DiBiase also messed with the bodyguard answer. Up next was the biggest area of improvement for the rookies. Bateman answers Chicks in America, shockingly. Brian had the same thing written down. Oh, they're so dang wacky. Bateman cheated, yet was given the win. Announcer spoke at ringside and hyped the elimination. Chris Masters beat Byron Saxton with Dolph Ziggler in 4 minutes 50 seconds. Masters was a pro for Saxton at one point. They showed a pre-tape of Saxton claiming Masters taught him everything he knows in the 2 weeks that they were together. Masters took offense and said he had something special for his former protege. Masters jumps out to the early advantage, tossing Saxton to the ringside. Masters tried to follow and was distracted by Ziggler, which allowed Saxton to catch him with a shot. Backstage, Brodus Clay entered Ted DiBiase, all fired up. DiBiase got in his face and told him he has to work on listening. After Clay left the room, DiBiase and Maurice bickered. Derek Bateman and Daniel Bryan beat Ted DiBiase and Brodus Clay with Maurice in 4 minutes 35 seconds. Gresham noted that Maurice was too busy texting to care what DiBiase was doing. Matthew said he would bet $1 billion that DiBiase would not win the Royal Rumble match. Ziggler started taunting Bryan over a mic that the live crowd could hear, but didn't come through on the feed well. One of the announcers noted that he told Bryan to tap out when Brodus had him in a hold. DiBiase ordered Brodus to tag him in to the match. Brodus wasn't happy, but complied. Bateman tagged in and hit a flurry of offense on DiBiase, who came back with a boot to the head. Ted walked into the corner and jawed at Clay for no apparent reason. Clay dropped off the apron. Bateman rolled up DiBiase and got the 1, 2, 3. Maurice was laughing. The announcers again questioned why DiBiase would think he had any chance of winning the Rumble match. Announcers pumped the elimination for later on the show. Backstage, O'Brien followed a trail of cheese. Remember, he said earlier in the season that he looks like a rat. The trail to Ricardo Rodriguez, who sprayed him in the eyes with what apparently was supposed to be rodent killer. O'Brien tossed Rodriguez around. Alberto Del Rio showed up and scolded him. Video recap Raw for one person who doesn't watch Raw, can't live without his NXT. And then another video recap for Raw for one person who doesn't watch Raw, can't live without his NXT. Backstage, Johnny Curtis was nervous about being eliminated tonight. R-Truth enters the room and told him to loosen up. Curtis danced like Truth would. Truth told him it didn't look good. Next up was Ricardo Rodriguez defeated Conor O'Brien in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Rodriguez came out wearing a white bathrobe and some comically bad ring gear. He tripped over the bottom rope. He got up and told the fans to shut up, which was totally unnecessary because they weren't making any noise. R-Rod's outfit consisted of what can best be described as granny panties trunks because they looked so big. Del Rio was shown watching the match intently on a backstage monitor. O'Brien removed the turnbuckle pad and threw Rodriguez into the corner. Who eventually charged at him, missed, and slammed his own head into the exposed turnbuckle. Rodriguez got the pinfall. Pros gathered to discuss the elimination. The announcers actually hyped the various ways to catch past episodes of WWE NXT. WWE.com. It's elimination time. Striker had the rookies gathered on the floor. Striker reminded everyone that Derek Bateman is immune from elimination. Conor O'Brien was eliminated. He started to cut an exit promo when Ricardo walked onto stage and mocked him. O'Brien chased him backstage. Striker and there were 4 rookies left, and one of them joined their pro in challenging for the WWE tag titles. O'Brien came back and was given a chance to deliver an address. He said all of the people suck, and the rat has left the building. He rolled under the ring, presumably to have his way with Hornswoggle. And that ended your NXT Internet results on WWE.com. Okay, on to SmackDown. That was taped in Tulsa, Oklahoma, airing this Friday on Sci-Fi. Wade Barrett, Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, and Justin Gabriel are now called The Core. They open up SmackDown. Teddy Long comes out and says he's in charge, and this is the Raw general manager. Alberto Del Rio comes out and says it's his show and it's his destiny to win the Rumble again. It's like 3 episodes in a row. We got SmackDown, he did it, and then Raw, and then again for this week's SmackDown. Del Rio defeats R-Truth by submission. During the match, they cut backstage, and we see Teddy Long laid out as everyone checks on him. Teddy is taken away on a stretcher and drove away in an ambulance. Second match is Beth Phoenix defeating Layla. Rey Mysterio is shown walking backstage. Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler walk up to the new Nexus. Nexus says that they had nothing to do with the attack on Teddy Long and offer to help out. Vicky wants them to take out Edge for Dolph Ziggler. Rey Mysterio beats Cody Rhodes with the 619 in the next match. Okay, Josh Matthews talks about Teddy Long backstage, but gets interrupted by The Miz and Alex Riley. What? Okay, Jim Ross comes out for an interview in his home state to a huge ovation from the crowd. Fellow OK native Jack Swagger comes out, but rips on the state. This probably will not be on the SmackDown taping because Jim Ross was in the dark match main event as a referee. And that's in his career, this made his second time ever as a referee. His first time being 1974. Jim Ross, like I said, came out for the interview and he comes out to a huge ovation from the crowd. Fellow OK native Jack Swagger interrupts. Rips on the state. Swagger versus Kofi Kingston in an amateur wrestling match is up next. Swagger defeats Kofi Kingston in the amateur wrestling bout. After the match, they brawl and Kofi kicks Swagger in the head to end it. So I guess he gave him the trouble in paradise. Drew McIntyre defeated Trent Beretta. Got his revenge on him from last week. McIntyre tries to shake his hand after the match, but Trent declines it. McIntyre attacks him, and Kelly comes out to check on Trent, which pisses Drew off. Edge versus Justin Gabriel is up next. Dolph Ziggler is on commentary. Barrett, Slater, and Ezekiel got involved at the end of a good match. Edge fought them off, but Jackson clotheslined him, allowing Gabriel to get the win. So, obviously this was a non-title match. They all enter the ring after the match and attack Edge. Dolph Ziggler comes out next and goes to attack Edge, but Kofi Kingston and Edge make the save. Then SmackDown ends. Okay, like I said, after the SmackDown TV taping, they set up a bonus tag match with Jim Ross making a special appearance to referee the match in his home state. Intercontinental Champion Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio beat Kane and Alberto Del Rio with Ross as guest referee. The match ended with a double 619 on Kane and Del Rio, followed by Trouble in Paradise from Kofi. While Kofi pinned Del Rio, Mysterio simultaneously jumps off the top rope and landed on Kane. JR counted a simultaneous 3 count for both babyfaces. After the taping concluded, Jim Ross posted on his Twitter account acknowledging his appearance at the TV taping and I quote, "Just leaving Tulsa where I refereed the non-TV main event, Ray and Kofi versus Kane and Del Rio, made it full circle as I ref my first bout in Tulsa in 1974. That's how I got the source of that. And that, I believe, will end. Okay, actually, no, it's not going to end it. So far, they've announced 21 superstars for the Royal Rumble. And for the Royal Rumble will be on January 30th in Boston. And your participants so far are Alberto Del Rio, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan, Darren Young, David Hart Smith, David Otunga, Husky Harris, John Cena, John Morrison, Mark Henry, Michael McGillicuddy, Primo, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Ted DiBiase, Tyson Kidd, William Regal, Yoshitatsu, Zack Ryder. And now, that will end my segment for this week's SmackDown Superstars and your boring NXT results. Thanks. Have a nice week.